Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. All right, MJ Bulls, it's up to CGC to prove it to us with some follow through. It's right there for the taking. The Bulls have to seize this opportunity, and tomorrow's the day to do it. If we don't do it tomorrow, short-term red flag. So, best case scenario tomorrow, increasing bull volume and a break of 2165. That would give us a daily higher low and higher high. And that would have us knocking on the door of breaking our weekly resistances of 2225 and 2248. If those two levels break, the weekly trend changes, we get over weekly exponential resistance, and a more significant move starts playing out. If we fail to break 2165 and lose the hourly uptrend from here, then we're going to be viewing this as an equilibrium with our low, high, higher low, and it would be a lower high, and we'd look to pull back and try and hold 1902 if we fail 2165 and lose the hourly uptrend. Hourly higher low right now established at 2028. So at the end of the day, I saw enough healthy consolidation that I did enter a small position, smaller than my day trade position because it's a swing position. And my game plan is, if we see a sell-off first thing tomorrow morning, like we saw this morning where bulls bought that dip and saw a new high of the day, I would look to then make it a full position based off of 2028 support. So let's say we drop first thing tomorrow morning to 2040. I add my second position. Stop is under 2028. And then we look for the bulls to try and make their test of 2165 resistance. APHA earnings are Tuesday pre-market. I might have said Monday last video. I pretty much don't care until Sunday when they are. But if you are holding any positions into those earnings, you certainly want to be aware of that date and on top of it, because it's going to have implications for all the major names in the MJ sector with what kind of reaction we see to APHA. Speaking of APHA, look at the setup for CGC on the daily time frame. Currently needs 4% for a bull break. And you look at everybody else, just to where we came from at the top of the pump. Right now, APHA needs way more than that. We would have to see 11% for a bull break. ACB is not even in the picture. We would have to see 22%. Cron needs about 12%, 13%. So CGC is the leader, and it's going to have to lead the way. If we do not get this bull break on the daily time frame, certainly not going to get any bull breaks on the other names. And even if we do get the bull break on CGC over 2165, all of those names are still going to be well under the high of the pump. I would say if CGC was able to come out and break 2165 tomorrow morning, most of those names would still be 4 or 5% below the high of the pump from last week. So just be aware of that those names favor an equilibrium much more than CGC, which is why these CGC bulls need to grasp the opportunity. So APHA looking for a daily lower high to be set. Today was just a daily inside bar. So 488 and 491 short-term resistances. If they break, we're just looking for a lower high. And earnings will dictate short-term momentum and whether or not APHA is able to change its weekly trend and try and shift this momentum. Have to get over 561, which is currently 15% away. ACB, so it bounced. Again, the weaker names bouncing is a good sign, but 22% to our last daily lower high of 227. We're just looking for a new daily lower high to form anywhere under 227. Cron, I did some day trading of Cron today. I was around this morning, but just some short-term flips on the way up. Getting comfortable with Cron day trading. CGC and Cron are pretty much my horses in the sector for now. But we're looking for a daily lower high to form compared to 796. CTST, still scouting that daily higher low. There's a double bottom at 101. Bulls playing off of one psychological support. If we get a break of 107 tomorrow, daily higher low is established, and we look for a lower high compared to 124. Very clear support level at $1. that bulls are playing off of right now. VFF, still very weak daily inside bar. Even if it breaks anything under 642 is just a daily lower high, and that is currently about 15% away. We did hold. We broke 540, but only by 3 pennies. So bulls are hoping to start and form some kind of falling wedge pattern. Let's see what we can draw up. Something along these lines to be watching for the next week or two. So labs, we have to be cautious. If this bounce does not get much more follow through, we have to be cautious of a bear flag, because if we drop to a lower high and lower low, we certainly know the bulls are losing their momentum, and the weekly time frame will continue to tighten. Low, high, higher, low. Lower high is now set at 418. Bulls must hold 332 for another higher low to try and stay in this tightening weekly pattern. VLNS, double top at the high of the last 2 days. If it breaks, right now it's just 2 daily inside bars in a row. If we break that resistance of 340, our higher low is then set at 320, and we're looking back up at 364 resistance from there. And I would expect a lower high compared to that level. Hexo, nice little bounce off the lows, but anything under 168 is just a daily lower high. Best case for the bulls is to try and set up for the potential of an inverse head and shoulders, get as close as they can to that resistance, create as much space as they can for a daily higher low, to then try and change that trend from there. OGI, daily inside bar, anything under 250 is just a daily lower high. Bulls have a lot of work to do to prove anything in the short term. And that's Canadian MJ. So one other note on position sizing. When I talk about position sizing, it's very important to not treat everything the same. Setups are different, trends are different. Back when we were bullish and in daily and weekly uptrends in the MJ space, I was trading with positions that were 3 to 5 times larger than what I'm trading with in any bullish positions now. Reason being, obviously it's a lot more uncertain down here, and it was a lot more bullish conviction back then. So just a reminder that your position sizing should directly reflect probability of setups. And when the trend is in your favor on all time frames, probabilities are way more in your favor than if they're not. If we're in a daily uptrend but a weekly downtrend, it's a lot more ambiguous than if everything is all systems go. So there are times we want to be aggressive, and there's times we want to be cautious. And obviously in the past few months, I have been more cautious. I took off my caution for that oversold dump bounce. But other than that, I have been remaining cautious in this sector until we get clarity. USMJ. IIPR bull break of the inside bars, so that 4-hour higher low held. There's our bull break breaking short-term resistances, and now 79.69 needs to break, and if it does, very convincing weekly higher low is set, and then it's all about 87.20 from there. Again, I'm not trading IIPR due to liquidity and the bid and the ask spread, but it is holding on well, and I do like the 4-hour time frame for the most clarity on this current setup. Curely, this is a good sign for bulls. Really impressive to just go straight back and break 838. And that's a good sign, because what that does is keeps the possibility alive for this to be a weekly trend change. So we have to break 937, and that is still 10% away, but it keeps it possible. If we lose the daily uptrend without breaking 937, it's a weekly equilibrium. If we don't lose a daily uptrend, the weekly trend change is still alive. OH is still weak, no daily higher low convincingly set. Decent amount of bear volume here. If we break 523, it's starting to get more significant of a pullback, and that's when we look for the equilibrium to then become the more likely scenario. And it's because CL is weak. CL closing down near the low of the day. Big upper wick yesterday was also a red flag, and we are already in an area where we are best case looking for an equilibrium for bulls. Worst case would be this loss of this uptrend, whether we get one more little bounce and then break support, or whether we just break 726 from here. That means our weekly top is in. It already looks like our weekly top is in. So I'm treating this as our low of 590, high of 950, and bulls need a higher low on the weekly compared to 590, and then break 950 to change the weekly trend. Weekly trend changes are needed on everybody. TRUL, disappointing lack of follow through on the oversold bounce. So we had that bounce yesterday, profit taking today, and bulls are just trying to hold that low now. If we break 1292, there's a lack of support until 1206. IAN, double top the high of the past 3 days at 198. Decent little close there, and it's about 216 from here. And if we can't break 216 and we lose the hourly uptrend, we have the daily equilibrium to watch. And if we keep the uptrend on the hourly, then it's possible to break 216, but we need some solid bull volume to do so. GTII, nice follow through. So again, same thing. If we lose the hourly uptrend without breaking 1286, it's then an equilibrium. So if we break the low of today, 1219, daily equilibrium is on watch. If we hold it, still possible to see continuation and a daily trend change. HARV, daily higher low is set at 354. Bulls want to break 441 and prevent from a tightening range. Same thing, lose the hourly uptrend without breaking 441, daily equilibrium would be the result. So eyes are on CGC tomorrow as the sector leader that is in the closest proximity to breaking its key daily resistance. APHA earnings Tuesday pre-market, so we have 2 more trading days now. And if we cannot see CGC break this resistance of 2165, we have a daily equilibrium here as well. And that would likely lead to all those USMJ daily equilibrium potential setups we looked at. It would likely lead to all of them forming as well. So pretty key day tomorrow morning. Show us what you got, bulls. Hope you had a good day, and we will see you on Monday. So this is my current trading setup, and as traders, not only do we need emotional and psychological balance, but we need physical balance as well. So I use this monitor more as there's more information on it during the trading day. So my head is cocked to the left more. So every month I switch my monitors to either side of the computer, because the last thing we want to be doing is strengthening one side, or I should say weakening one side of our necks and our backs. We want to be keeping things as balanced as possible. So just a suggestion for you all as well, make sure you're moving things around and trying to keep as much balance on the wear of your body as possible. That's trader tip number 642.